Welcome to Talk and Tone. I'll be your host, Dave Pops Clements. We're on location today in Burbank, California at the Fish Tank with a very special friend of mine, Michael Herring, commonly known as Fish.
Commonly, yes.
Most commonly.
Most commonly.
How you doing, my brother? You good?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too. And my first time at the Fish Tank here, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's been way too long. You should have been here a couple of years ago.
And I only stay right up the street.
Right.
You know? Yeah. Like really, literally, it took me 2 minutes, and that's without rushing.
We'll have many more.
Yeah, we'll do some sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, track some guitars.
Yeah.
I think you got a few guitars in here. I think your collection's grown.
Yeah. Yeah, there's about, this is about half of them.
Yeah. It's quite a few. So and you know, Yamaha is your endorser?
Yeah, Yamaha's been extremely supportive over the years. Amazingly supportive. And you know, not just with guitars, but with other gear. And you know, I've had a pretty good hand at research and development with them and working on new products and being a guinea pig, which I love doing.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it when they say, hey, try this.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think. And I love doing that.
And you're good for that. You really are.
I enjoy doing it. You know,
yeah.
I enjoy testing products and being that guy. I like being a sounding board.
Yeah.
And if I can get a chance to actually have, you know, one of my comments or one of my criticisms help a product, then there you go.
Yeah, and that's great. You know, it's great for the manufacturers to have a guy like you that's, you know, intricate and knows what he's looking for. You know, you and I've been around for a number of years with you, watching things grow and start, and we worked on things and tones and sounds, and you know, we did a few big tours together.
Yeah,
and
had some fun.
Yeah, maybe we could do some more in the future if we can ever get Trevor out of here now. Trevor's took my spot, man.
Trevor's awesome.
Yeah,
Trevor Cole has been, he's been really solid. You know, the last 3.5 years, 4 years we've been working together. He's been great. He's a top-notch guy.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about him. I've never got to work with him, and of course I've met him a few times. You know. But I would look forward to maybe even working with him sometime, you know.
Oh, you will.
You never know.
Yeah.
Depending on how my touring career goes, you know. I'm trying to get, you know, Talk and Tone off the ground, obviously.
Yeah.
And I want to get back in the studio and do more tracking, you know, definitely.
Yeah, you just got to keep doing it.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in my career tracking guitars. So, and I, you know, really never got to sit down and do the mixing. You know, or me placing the mics. Well, I place mics, but always with somebody else going, hey, Pops, can you give me this tone or whatever?
Right.
And now I'm actually going, hey, Pops, can you give me this tone? Only it's me giving me the tones. Hello, me, it's me again.
Yeah, when you start talking back to yourself.
Well, you know what? It doesn't
you've
bother
been doing
me.
that for a long time.
Exactly. It's like, who's he talking to over there? That's okay. He's one of those guys, like, you know, pi r squared. He's figured out some formula to make something work.
I don't know how many times I saw your head in the back of my amp, and you're talking to someone. I don't know who you're talking to.
The tubes. Yeah. Please. Actually, I was praying. Please, Lord, make this work so I don't have to take it all apart.
Let us be able to get through this.
10 minutes to showtime. Yeah, no worries. I'll be right with you. Soldering something, you know. I'll tell you, one time, you know, talking about stories was one of the biggest debacles when I pulled the plug on a wireless system we were trying to use somewhere over in Europe, and the last day of production rehearsal, and had to get air freighted, and I mean air freighted, hand carried air freighted, a whole Shure wireless system to us. If you remember all of that a long time ago, after our poor friend Benji spent 3 weeks mixing guitars, and I pulled the plug on it at the last minute and switched systems.
Yep.
You know, we had to do that.
Worth it.
Yeah, you know, technically things are going to happen like that.
Yeah.
You know. And, you know, it's part of my whole series is to teach people technical, you know, give them some technical advice and help, and, you know.
And you have to second guess.
And troubleshooting.
Yeah.
You know, you have to second guess yourself all the time.
Yeah. There's been several times where I've been preparing for a tour, and, you know, especially with wireless units, where it might work great in rehearsals, and then you get into production rehearsals, and it doesn't work.
Well, there's so much that comes into play then, you know,
Exactly.
all the video walls and
Yeah.
the lights, and now there's, you know, the video walls are a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, I've been fortunate on some of, you know, I did some of the big Jay-Z stuff, you know, Yankee
Right.
Stadium, and
Yeah.
we went out with U2 on the 360, and I really had no problems at all.
That's great.
You know, and it was really good, you know, so very fortunate. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, Yamaha, you've been with them, you got a lot of guitars from a lot, you got some amp stuff now, some
Yeah.
new prototype stuff you're
Yeah,
looking
there's
at?
there's some new special stuff coming out that they're working on. There's some new guitars coming out too, which they haven't done. Yamaha hasn't done a new body style for an electric in years. It's been a long time.
Are you going to be involved in any research and development?
I've been kind of, you know, testing stuff along the way.
Mhm.
They had a couple different body styles they were working on, some new stuff. The guys over there, between the guys in Burbank and the guys in Japan, you know, there's some brilliant minds.
Oh yeah,
You know, great guitar designers, great guitar builders. Pat over at YGD is amazing. You know, he's a young guy with just a vision.
yeah.
And he's built a couple guitars for me in the last few years, and he's awesome. So my main guitar now for the last couple years has been one that Pat at YGD built for me. It's a Pacifica body style, so it's a Strat body style. Humbucker in the bridge, P90 in the neck, and a Fishman power bridge. And I'm not sure which model of power bridge it is, but it's amazing. So and it's got a 5-way switch, so it's got, you know, in and out of phase sounds, and you know the P90 is just super fast.
I've been noticing that, you know, after seeing some of your guitars over time now and how you have evolved, and you've really gotten into the P90 sound.
Yeah, I love it.
I love P90 pickups, man. They just got, there's just something about them, you know. It's more raw than a humbucker to me.
Right.
You know, it's a little more raw sound, but it'll still clean up.
Right.
Like a good single coil.
Yep.
You know, we're talking about amps, and we certainly can't forget the Riveras.
Yeah.
You've been a Rivera amp guy for a real long time as well, and you've been faithful to the
Rivera's
Rivera.
another really long time relationship. That's been probably 18 years
Wow.
that I've been working with Rivera. You know, Paul Sr., Paul Jr., they're awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Awesome people. They're really good friends.
Yes.
In fact, Paul Jr. is the one that took me over to Yamaha the first time and introduced me to them.
Wow. That's awesome.
And yeah, just amazing products. Same thing with them. You know, the R&D stuff. I'm always going over there, checking out the new stuff. You know, testing stuff. You know, trying prototypes. And you know, do you like it?
Yay or nay?
I love it, but it could use more of this. And it, you know, if it helps them, but Paul Senior's got, you know, he's got incredible ears.
Oh yeah, he
And,
does.
You know, he knows tone. That's a guy.
Well, both of them do.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean,
it's true. It's
I mean,
very true.
Paul Senior. I just get excited talking to Paul, and I always want to go, hey man, could you tell me about Fender in the day?
Yeah.
You know, and I never
Yeah.
do that because I have respect for him. It's Rivera.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. Maybe I could
But
do
that's
an
part
interview.
of his history.
Yeah, maybe I could do an interview with both of them someday, you know, maybe touch on those old Fender days, you know.
Yeah.
But I think the Rivera stuff, I tell some people the clean sound is the best twin you've ever
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah.
Really. It's got that Fendery, only a Fender on steroids.
Right. Exactly.
You know.
Well, you know the silver rig that I have that
Yeah.
we used on one of the tours.
Was it Knucklehead?
It's a knucklehead with 6L6s.
Right.
And the 312 cabinet. It had two 12s, two vintage 30s in the top, and had the powered sub in the bottom. Had a
Right.
JBL in the bottom for
Right.
the powered sub. That clean sound is like the biggest.
It's
twin.
huge.
Yeah, it's the biggest twin you'll ever hear in your life with a sub. Yeah, it's incredible.
Live, you know, you just finished the New Kids tour.
New Kids and TLC.
Wow. Another New Kids tour. You've been doing a few of those now.
Yeah, that's been seven or so years. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And I did a few of those with you as
Yeah.
well. We did
Yeah.
some of those. And golly, New Kids that long.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And live, you're using Rivera amps again.
Yeah, I've been using for the last 7 years. I've been using the Venus 6 rig.
Yeah, that's a great rig.
Yeah, it's two Venus 6 212 combos
Awesome.
with the 212 extension cabs.
Right.
So it's still pushing 812s,
Right.
but it's combos.
Yeah, right.
And it's you know, they're only 35 watts a side, but man, they're rocking.
That's great.
Those amps are loud. They sound great. They're super clean. There's plenty of headroom. You know, both channels are really killing.
Yeah, and you're using a stereo rig still?
Stereo rig.
And we were talking about one of the pedal boards underneath here, the RJs.
Yeah, the RJM. This is the first time I've used, you know, a pedal switcher system like this.
Right.
And the RJM is killer.
Yeah.
It's got buffers. It's got, oh man, it's awesome. It's got an internal line mixer. You know, you can run series or parallel. You know, especially for the stereo effects and for the it's got stereo. It's got mono and stereo loops. So you know, you get true stereo coming out of it. Just pristine sound.
Right, the buffers are really sound so
the buffers
clean.
make a huge difference.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to one. I've never listened to the floor switchers. I've used the RJMs in racks. We're using one with Tark for an acoustic switcher, and it sounds great. Yeah. You know, and they've just came so far. You know, I've been a Bob Bradshaw guy for a lot of years. Me and Bob go way back.
I know.
You know, I mean, I was one of those North Hollywood guys in the day.
I know.
You know, Lon and I were just talking about all that, the old Weddington Street in the early 80s, you know, late 70s, early 80s.
Those buildings are gone now.
Oh, wow.
Leveled. There's no buildings there,
Is NRG still there?
Yeah, it's one of the few.
So everything on the side where Andy's was and all that?
Yeah.
All the way, the whole block?
Like where Yamaha was, where Lon Cohen was,
Wow, I haven't driven down. I've driven, you know, past it. Lon's only right up around the corner.
Weddington Street has changed a lot in the last couple of years.
Wow. You know, it's when I come back, and I call this home still. You know, I come back, it's his home.
When you spend as much time as we do here, it becomes home.
Now when I fly in to do the Josh stuff, they automatically put the rental car in my name. Oh, well, Pops knows how to get around. You know, I'm like, yeah, but hang on. I don't want to get around here. Back to your pedal board. So the RJM, what do you got going on now here? You got...
I've been using...
got a Strymon in there, I see?
I've got 3 Strymons, the Timeline, the Mobius, and the Big Sky. So that covers any delay, any modulation, any reverb I could possibly imagine.
Right.
You know, it's got... That stuff is... I haven't even tapped it. You know, when you know, Trevor and I put this pedal board together in production rehearsals for the last tour, you know, several months ago, and I had enough time to just program what I needed for the tour.
Right.
But there's, man, so many incredible sounds.
The
Strymon stuff,
They're crazy. Tark does some crazy high layering stuff. And it's just, you know, I love them. I think they sound phenomenal.
Yeah, and they're all MIDI controlled by the RJM also.
Right.
I've got an Eventide pitch factor for any pitch shifting.
Yep.
I've been using the Rockbox pedals for any additional overdrive.
Right.
Which, you know, that's Chris Campbell's stuff. You know,
right.
Chris is awesome.
Yeah.
I was also using one of Chris's guitars on the last tour, the Sparkle Telly.
Oh wow. Oh cool.
Great guitar.
Cool.
Something new, really new for me, aside from the Strymons, was the exotic effects.
Oh,
which I had heard about them, but you know, I hadn't really tried them before. And then I got the SP compressor and the EP boost. They're tiny little pedals, but
they're awesome.
Both really awesome pedals for, you know, for these little tiny pedals.
It's a boost.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a beautiful, it just brings it up so naturally.
Yeah, you know what I ended up doing was, I thought it sounded so good that I ended up putting that boost on every patch. Every patch. Clean, overdrive, you know, anything in between.
Sure.
That EP boost is on all the time.
Yeah. We have one in Tark's rig.
It's awesome. You know, I put it in a loop in the RJM, but that loop is always on.
Yeah.
That you know, that boost pedal is always on. One of the newest things was the exotic wah pedal.
Wow.
I don't know if you've tried that, but
no, I have not.
That's pretty awesome too.
Wow. And you know,
I've been using Crybabies for
me too. And
30,
you know,
30 plus years, but you know, I had one of the 535.
Yeah, right.
One of the Q535 pedals go down, and I replaced it with. I wanted to try something new, so I tried the exotic wah, and man, that thing is killing.
I got to try one because I'm looking for something. I'm a wah guy. I mean, I could play everything Hendrix type stuff. You know,
there's a lot of variables to it. You can do a lot of EQing, a lot of Q changing on it, but just plugging straight into it with it set flat. Amazing wah.
So it's got adjustable Q presets you can bump around.
It's got a bunch of knobs on the side, plus it's got some dip switches inside.
It's got a boost on it or no?
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
How's that? Is it cool?
I haven't used the boost. I haven't even tried it.
Wow.
It
just sounds so good the way it
sounded
is.
So
That's
good.
it. Don't mess with it.
I adjusted a little bit, a little bit of the EQ and left it. It was great.
That's awesome when you can do that. Let's talk a little bit about your background. You came from South Philly.
Northeast Philly.
Northeast. Oh,
Yeah.
Heaven forbid! Because I got to tell you,
Philly.
South Philly and somewhere else in Philly.
Hey, it's a different. It's
a
like
different place.
Country, man. It's like South. They talk different. South.
I've always
really do.
I've been around the South Philly Italians for so long. I just thought, oh, maybe South Philly.
No.
Sorry about that. No offense. To anyone.
South Philly's got a different accent.
Yeah. Well, the Italians are down there.
Yeah, that's true. Italians are everywhere.
And so your musical background, what you came up with, what was your style? Were you a rock guy out of the gate, or what?
Well, yeah, I guess so. I was into everything. My grandfather was a violinist, so I was exposed to a lot of classical stuff.
Right.
He started me on violin,
Wow.
so I was exposed to that. But I was also carrying the Meet the Beatles record around when I was in when I was in second, third grade.
Right. Wow.
So it started there. It started with classical and Beatles.
Right.
And whatever pop music was playing on the radio that we would listen to in the car, and pop music back then was amazing.
Yeah, right.
And you're talking about 70s pop music was awesome.
I'm living out of the 70s, and I say that in every one of these interviews. I'm still a 70s guy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to preserve, not that it's ever gone away, but my whole thing is that 70s tone, man.
Yeah.
Somebody put up a video on Facebook yesterday, Steve Marriott, and I'm a huge, even from the Small Faces onward.
Oh, yeah.
But Humble Pie was like, man, I'm listening to it. Getting goosebumps talking about it.
Amazing tone.
Not
just that, but amazing writing.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing recordings.
I know.
There's a lot to be said about anything from early 60s or mid 60s to late 70s. It's some amazing songs. Going back to it's just history, some of my history as far as influences. I listened to everything, but the thing about growing up in Philly is there was a lot of soul music.
Right.
There was a lot of that. I mean, it was the sound of Philly was soul music.
Yeah.
And that was just around. A lot of the players I started playing with were guys from Olney or guys from West Philly and guys from different parts of the city were playing different kinds of music. Mm-hmm. So we would have a rock band and fuse it with a guy who's playing R&B and soul.
Wow.
And then we'd start combining our music. So I ended up in a bunch of bands that were combinations of a lot of stuff.
Wow.
I was in one band called Threshold that was more of like a funk rock fusion band with an amazing vocalist.
Right.
And that thing, it was an amazing band. It could have been something great, but we all went in different directions. Mm-hmm. I was in a band called Joyride with Sid.
All right.
Sid's an old friend.
Bass player. He was playing bass.
Sid was a great. He's a manager now. He's managing artists.
Yeah, I see that. He's doing real well too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's living out here. He's doing great. Still playing bass a little bit here and there, not enough, but yeah, it was the same thing with that band. It was a combination of all different kinds of styles that we were bringing together, and it was different. Maybe the world wasn't quite ready for it yet, but I think the thing about growing up in Philly was I was exposed to every style. Country kind of came in later.
Right.
I was exposed to some of it just through certain people, but there wasn't as much country, in that region. I don't even think there was a country radio station back then. Like, when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
In Philly?
In Philly, I don't think so.
Wow.
But, the jazz scene, the R&B scene, the funk, rock, that was all there. So many great jazz players from Philly,
Right.
I went to the same music school that Stanley Clarke went to, that Grover Washington Jr. went to, and I ended up meeting them and doing master classes with them and working with those two when I was a kid.
Where did you go for formal training?
That was it was called Settlement Music School.
Wow.
In Philadelphia. Great school. And then I went to the Creative and Performing Arts High School, which, I think I took full advantage of the music in that school. Academics, not so much, but I took full advantage of it was basically like a college education in music in that high school, and it was amazing. It was the first, I was there within the first, 5 or 6 years of the school's existence, and it was amazing.
When you got your first big call to go to the major leagues, so to speak,
yeah,
where were you still in Philly at that time?
Yeah, I was still in Philly. Well, I had done some stuff before then, you know, just in some big studios in Philly, you know, some
recording stuff, tracking.
recording stuff. But I went from there to doing some sessions in New York. So I'd hop on the train, grab my nylon string, grab an electric, you know,
go up and track. Yeah.
couple of pedals, and go up to New York and track in the studios there with different producers and different artists, and yeah, I think it was working in New York that really did it. You know, doing stuff for Island Records, and then, you know, this is like mid '90s, doing stuff up there, and you know, that just snowballing into, you know, it wasn't like one huge gig. It was you know, big gigs got bigger and bigger as they came along.
And then the big call came, the real big call. Well, so to speak, I guess.
Well,
one of them.
Yeah, well, like Christina would have been, you know, one of the first really big calls. There was stuff I had done before then, you know, between Drew Hill and I had worked with Tina Marie. I'd worked with Johnny Gill. I'd worked with, well, even before Christina, I'd worked with Prince. So,
Prince is what I was referring to, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah, well, that was an interesting situation.
Yeah.
And that's a cat that I learned a lot from, just being around his camp and being at Paisley Park and watching how things run there. And
you did Prince before Christina.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it was the Hit and Run tour 2000 2001. We had a band called Funky Bald Heads.
Wow.
And we tracked some stuff at Paisley Park, and we worked on some stuff with Prince, and then, you know, we were lucky enough to tour with him, and
wow,
and you know, and play with him, and it was just an awesome experience.
Wow. Who was in the band at that point?
It was me and Mike Scott. You know Mike Scott.
I do not.
Great guitar player. Kevin Walker was playing bass. Kirk Johnson was the drummer and our fearless leader. We had a rapper named Devious.
Wow.
We had an amazing singer named Kip Blackshire, who Kip is now out here in L.A.
Right.
And he's still working with Prince now.
Wow.
Morris Hayes would come in and play some keys on some stuff.
Right.
We had a DJ. So it was an interesting band, and that was more of a rock band too.
Right.
It was cool. It was a combination of rock and funk, and you know, Kip's amazing, you know, over the top R&B vocals.
Right. God, you know, I mean, Prince's stuff is, you know, his playing is rock.
Yeah.
Really, to me.
Yeah.
You know, he's a rock player.
Yeah, he is.
You know, but he's got funk all in there too. I mean, amazing artist. You know, really. You know, it kind of reminds me when I went to work for Jay-Z. You know, I was like, oh, I'm going to work for a hip hop band. I don't know what this is going to be like. And then I walked into rehearsal and went, hang on.
Yeah, when hip hop is live.
I guess that's why I'm here to put these Marshalls up, you know. Right. I mean, they were looking, they had just done, you know, Jade put out that 99 Problems.
Right.
And I got to tell you, man, it was just, you know, it was a Rick Rubin record.
Yeah.
I mean, full on. And I came into that situation. It was just like, yeah, Pops, have at it. You know, whatever you need to do. And it was just like, dime it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, when it comes to playing live and you're playing in arenas, you got to make the songs bigger.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, one way to make it sound like an arena song is to add some heavy guitars to it. That's what I've done over the years. I did that with Christina. I did it with Anastasia. I did it with all the New Kids stuff. There's a lot of New Kids on the Block stuff that you wouldn't think would have heavy guitars in it. It doesn't until you hear it live.
You know, if I had, you know, didn't know I was working with New Kids, because I never had, when we worked together, I never had them in my ears. I just had you and Ethan. Yeah. So I have you and Ethan, and I can hear the drums, you know, raging. It's a full-on rock band. Yeah. It's rock. You would never know it's New Kids on the Block, you know? And even the encore songs, you know, the big encore stuff was like, man, killing, you know?
Yeah.
Killing.
It's fun. I think as a band, you know, having all of us that have played together for a long time, between, you know, Rob and Ethan and me, and, you know, different drummers over the years, but Stanley for the last 4 years or so.
Stanley's a big, heavy drummer.
Oh,
big,
man,
heavy hitter.
And that band rocks.
Oh, yeah.
That band really rocks.
Yeah.
You know, it's surprising a lot of people that you know, friends of ours would come and see a New Kids show that wouldn't normally sit there and listen to a New Kids show, but they're surprised because it's very musical. You know, we had to bring it up a few notches not just for the audience, but for us.
Wow.
You know, we had to push ourselves and try and make it more musical and play something that we're going to enjoy too.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to add ourselves into these pop songs. And when you're playing hit songs,
Yeah, right.
they're good songs. They're hit songs.
Yeah, sure.
If you can improve on it,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's a big live thing, you know, like the record is one thing, but when you get out live, you know, you can put so much more into it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Especially when I like to add the big heavy guitars. Adds a lot of energy, especially when it's in stereo, and you know, when you get a guy like Kevin Elson mixing, or you get a great front of house engineer who's spreading it evenly all over the place and making it sound even bigger. It sounds like a big arena rock show.
When you're actually in the PA.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I generally like to keep a lower stage volume. That way I can have it sound full in my ears, but I still, you know, and I like to have it behind me too. I like to have my rig behind me so I can feel something.
Yeah, right.
So it's loud enough where I can feel it,
right,
but not too loud where it's louder than drums. You know,
Yeah.
so it can be evenly mixed in the PA.
Yeah, right. It's difficult, you know, with guitars. I mean, some people don't, you know, it's really kind of a science. It shouldn't be a rocket science project, but it can sometimes turn into that, you know?
Yeah, it's
Especially,
not that difficult to get great tone. It really isn't.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people try a lot of different things, a lot of the digital stuff, which, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are using the Axe effects and you know, and Kempers and different modeling things, and I honestly haven't given them enough of a chance. I haven't sat down in a room with one of those things for a week and really programmed one till it felt like it was right for me. You know, I'm kind of old school. I like tubes. I like pedals. I like having, you know.
Yep.
I like having that stuff behind me.
Well, you know, and anybody that's been watching the series, every episode I'm talking about, you know, I'm a tube amp guy.
Yeah.
And if I'm on a gig, I can guarantee you, and maybe this may change at some point, but there will not be a fractal audio there. I mean, it's the first thing I ask up front. Or they may ask, you know fractal audio? No, and I don't really want to. Now, having said that, I have been saying maybe I should get one, like you.
I keep saying that too.
And
maybe
bring
I
it
should
in,
get one.
and I don't. You know, because and I'm fortunate enough to have amps and access to amps and mics.
Yeah.
And even though in my series I try to get across the point.
But that's another thing that really it makes a huge difference in the tone is
the microphone
that you're putting in front of your speaker. You know, a lot of people still use 57s. I'm not a big fan of 57s. You know, I've used them over the years, but until I realized that, you know, a 421 sounded even better.
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
It sounded fuller.
Sure.
And then when Bob Heil started making microphones, the PR30 was the one. You know, that for me, that's what works really well. So I always, no matter what I'm doing, I always, even if I'm doing a fly date and I'm not using a pair of Rivera amps, if I'm using a pair of Fenders, I always have the Heil PR30s with me.
Right. You know, for the record, and I know I've probably told you this 100 times, but when I was 15 years old, I took a sound class that was taught by Bob Heil in Marissa, Illinois. That's it.
That's his place.
Well, there used to be a place center
town.
called Fast Eddie's Music. It was a good friend of mine, Ed Bigger. And we were kids, and I lived in St. Louis, and we'd found out about this place, and I was so passionate about music and, you know, really being a tech, you know.
Right.
I mean, I played guitar, but my buddies were better, so I became the sound man.
You were into the tone.
Yeah, I became the sound
been
man.
into the tone.
Yeah, I'm the tone guy.
Yeah.
And so I went down there and learned efficiency of speakers from Bob Heil. You know, I mean, his Heil stuff was all the original Who tours, you know. I mean,
Grateful Dead, The Who, James Gang, you know.
He was the cat, and still is the cat, I think.
Yeah, no, he's the grandfather of live sound.
Oh, absolutely. I got to get
he changed live sound.
So, you know, look, I got to thank you so much for doing this, and
anytime.
And hopefully we could, you know, keep it going. I can come back again, and we can get more specific.
Yeah, anytime. Maybe next time we'll mic up some stuff.
Yeah, we'll do some tracking and go listen to this.
We'll
and
actually listen to different tones.
Yeah, and put up some stuff, and you know, listen to the Strymons maybe, and the RJM, and some of the Rivera stuff. Maybe the new Rivera product. That'd be great.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. All right, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much.
You got it, man.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.